We have a 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee. We're going to be installing the Air Force One system on this vehicle. The Air Force One system includes the Air Force One operating unit, the towed vehicle installation kit, coach notification kit, the coiled air jumper, coach air connection assembly, coach installation kit, the actuator kit, 7-foot length of vacuum hose, a 40-foot roll of 1/4-inch DOT airline, the installation instructions, and the warranty information. Before installing the system, read over the packing slip to familiarize yourself with all the parts and pieces. We will start by finding a good location for the Air Force One operating unit. We'll need to keep the operating unit away from any significant heat sources, such as exhaust manifolds. On our Jeep Grand Cherokee, we have plenty of room right on top of the fuse box, so we're going to secure the unit into place with some Velcro. The next piece of hardware we'll mount is the air actuator. The air actuator secures over the brake arm just above the brake pedal and secures to the firewall with an anchor. We'll start by setting the actuator up against the brake arm above the pedal and checking where the anchor will be installed on the firewall. Finding a straight line shot or an angle that's going to work and the cable will still be able to pull straight. Before drilling through the firewall, be sure to check the back side of the firewall to make sure there's not any obstructions or anything that you'll hit. Setting the cable tension is very important. You will want to first set the cable tension at the anchor, then you can fine-tune the setting by moving the actuator front to back before tightening it down on the brake arm. Once everything's tightened up, we're going to move the brake pedal through its range of motion and make sure that the cylinder moves freely along the actuator. The Air Force One system includes an LED indicator that notifies when the brakes are activated. Connecting the factory wire to the extended wire and the kit, it's a good idea to go ahead and reinforce that connection with some electrical tape. We will mount this in a location that is visible in the coach's backup camera. This LED indicator can also be located on the coach dash by running a wire the length of the motorhome. On this Jeep Grand Cherokee, we'll locate the LED on the rearview mirror. We'll route the wire across the top of the headliner and down the A-pillar. We will connect the black wire from the LED indicator to the blue wire on the reed switch. We will connect the red wire from the LED indicator to the black wire on the reed switch, and also run another wire off this connection to a frame ground. We will extend the brown wire from the reed switch and route it through the firewall with the airline. If you cannot find a factory grommet with enough space, you may need to drill an additional hole through the firewall. Be sure to seal any new holes with silicone. Now that we're through the firewall, we'll go ahead and route the airline to the operating unit and the brown wire to our battery connection. Locate the brake booster so we can find the vacuum line running between the booster and the engine. Route the 3/8-inch vacuum line from the operating unit over to the vacuum line on the brake booster. Connect the line using the T and the supplied fittings. Follow the instructions and orientate the clear or green side of the check valve towards the T and the black side of the check valve towards the engine. Install the second check valve with the black side facing the operating unit and the clear or green side facing the T. When the base plate was installed, we went ahead and installed the breakaway switch and the airline connection. We routed our airline and breakaway wires behind the bumper up towards the operating unit. There are two black wires coming from the Air Force One operating unit. One of these wires will connect to the blue wire from the breakaway switch, and the other will run to a frame ground. The orange with black stripe wire from the breakaway switch will connect to one side of the 3-way crimp terminal. The brown wire that we ran through the firewall from the reed switch will connect to the one side of the 3-way crimp terminal, and the fuse holder will connect to the other side of the 3-way crimp terminal. The other end of the fuse holder will connect to a battery connection, which we found in the fuse box. The procedure for properly setting the reed switch is outlined in the instruction manual. With the towed vehicle side of the Air Force One installed, we'll move on to the coach installation. We'll start by locating the supply connection and the metered airline connection. The valve assemblies we'll be looking for are right in front of the rear axle. Once the appropriate airlines are located, go ahead and make your connections with the supplied fittings. If the tanks have not been drained, the supply line will be pressurized. With the T-connections in place, we'll go ahead and find a good location for the coach air assembly. The assembly can be installed in virtually any location under the coach. Just be sure to keep it as close to the airline connections as possible. Also, make sure that it is not mounted next to any excessive heat source. The last piece of hardware to mount is the coach L bracket. We will mount this on the rear bumper area. With all the hardware mounted, we'll go ahead and route the 1/4-inch DOT airline and connect everything together. The line from the L bracket goes to the delivery port on the coach assembly. The line for the metered air connection goes to the elbow between the tank and the relay valve. The supply air connection goes to the pressure protection valve on the end of the tank. To test the system for leaks, start by running the coach till the air supply builds back up. We'll use a spray bottle with a mixture of soap and water. Hook the towed vehicle up to the RV and apply the brakes in the RV. The brakes in the towed vehicle should be applied proportionally. If using the supplied LED indicator, you should see the LED light up from the rear camera of the motorhome. If using the wireless coach link, you should be able to see the brake supplied indicator light up on the receiver. The receiver is equipped with a buzzer that will activate after 7 seconds of continuous braking. This buzzer can be toggled on or off. Press the brake pedal on the motorhome 3 to 4 times to fully test the system, and then double check to make sure that the cable tension is still proper.